Yeah.
But
So you weren't on the Love Boat, you were on the Titanic.
yeah, we're looking into the water. We're looking in the water, and I look past. There's these couple on a piece of debris
falling off the boat.
Jack and
and I don't know. There was.
What was her name?
I don't know. I looked past them, and there was just debris all went like sinking to the bottom of the ocean.
No, you were saying, get on. There's enough room
There's
on,
enough
Jack.
Enough
Get on.
room on that. Like, don't get me started.
There's the dining room door.
Yeah, there's like,
It was the dining room door.
There's enough room, Jack. Get
Jack,
on.
get on the. What are you doing?
Was
Oh, it's
anybody
beautiful.
harmed?
Only one person.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Hayden, Alabama podcast. I'm Philip.
I'm Shane.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Shelby.
We're excited to have Dylan and Shelby with us today. I'm sure many of you know who they are, so it's in no need of an introduction, but they got up and drove from
Winfield, Alabama.
Winfield, Alabama this morning.
And that ain't Walker County now. Make sure everybody knows that.
No,
It's
we
not Walker
right
County.
across the line, but we close.
It's a stone's throw.
Yeah, she used to work over
I
in
did.
Walker
I
County.
worked in Walker County for 2 years, so.
Well, we've been watching them, and I'm sure, like y'all, and you just can't help but laugh and smile as they live their life. And one of the things that we love is that they're both followers of Christ. And so we thought it would be a good match today.
And they like mustard. Well, Dylan likes mustard anyway.
My favorite condiment.
Hey, it's the most versatile.
Oh, no.
Yeah, don't get me started on my mustard now.
We got a few stories
we
about
go.
mustard. We just talk
I
about
mean,
mustard all day.
my refrigerator's full. We got closets full. Storage. We got a storage building that's got a ton of mustard stuff in it, just for
Oh,
people
yeah.
Sending it on.
sending it on.
I rescind my offer. I don't have that much. I mean, obviously, I don't.
Yeah, it's a love offering. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, let's get to some storytelling. We know that you guys have thought through some funny stories from your life. So, without further ado, let's hear one of them.
Yeah, I guess I could start us off.
Yeah.
We'll do. Have y'all ever done much flying?
I've done enough to know that I'm not good at it without an airplane.
Yeah. Well, that's when it comes to skydiving. I say, people ask, hey, do you want to go skydiving? Would you ever do it? Why would I jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Absolutely.
Ain't happening.
Ain't
Good
doing
logic.
it.
No.
I'd love to do it.
But yeah,
I love to fly, though, so that's just why I think skydiving would be fun.
flying with something that has wings and wheels is. but all right, so let's see. It was on the way back, right?
Yeah, we were headed home from Peru. We had gone to Peru on a mission trip there in the Andes Mountains.
Yeah. So we did 2 flights to get there. So you had a layover in like Fort Lauderdale, and then on the way back, it was the last flight. First 3 flights, great. I mean, smooth. Couldn't have gone any better. You know, I'm figuring things out. I'm sitting there. They're bringing me free snacks and water. You know, you look over and, is this free? Like, do I have to pay for this? Well, we
Is this life?
yeah, is this live? Is this real life? So we get up in the air.
We're
and,
flying from Fort
Fort
Lauderdale,
Lauderdale to
New Orleans.
So
across the Gulf.
yeah, so we're sitting there, and then I got my snacks and my drink, and well, all of a sudden the plane does this right here, and then it does that right there, and Shelby, is this normal? Yes. Just about every flight has a little bit of turbulence. Well, I ain't never experienced turbulence. I mean,
Our first 3 flights were so smooth.
Just period.
yeah.
Just period.
I mean, anyway,
Can you spell that for me?
Yeah.
We're going to do I need
can
to
you
understand
spell
turbulence.
Yeah. I mean, last time I experienced turbulence, I was in the bathroom. You know? That's about my turbulence experience. But yeah, so it does it a little bit more, and you know, Shelby's face starts to turn a little bit, just where you can kind of tell she's a little uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Well, all of a sudden, have in mind we just got drinks and snacks. Like we're all happy, but our drinks are to the top.
Seatbelt signs off. We're just relaxing.
Yeah, we're relaxing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that seatbelt sign comes on. Well, I look over at Shelby again, and she kind of, peeks over at me a little bit, and I'm like, we may be actually going through something. Turns out there were some storms in the Gulf. Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't much get our seatbelts on, and all of a sudden that plane drops. I'm saying this ain't just a little turbulence, like 30 feet drop. everybody's drinks hits the ceiling. Drinks all over everybody, except for the few. You were lucky if you had the drink, because the drink was going over the person in the back. So you got lucky if the person in front of you wasn't that thirsty. So it drops. All of a sudden, the plane's doing this right here. We're going left and right, and Shelby's praying out loud.
She done got the ghost.
The Holy Spirit had come over her.
Yeah.
And she's out there. I mean, I ain't never heard her speaking some of these words, but
She's talking prayer to the good Lord, wasn't she?
It's one of them good prayers.
Yeah.
One of them, Lord, I need you right now.
You got hooked up.
Yeah. I need you to intervene.
Yeah.
Well, she's praying out loud, and then I'm just like, I don't know what to do. What's
You
that,
just
what's
got
that
face.
movie?
What
I
you
don't know
got?
what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
Like,
Brick.
yeah. Well, she's got me by one leg, and then she's running them
Got the
words.
Lord's hand with
the
the other.
the Lord's hand with the
Right.
other.
Yeah.
And we're on a mission trip, so she ain't the only one praying on that plane. And I'm just like,
He's smiling. He looked at me with the biggest smile on his face, like, what's happening?
I thought this
right
just
now?
happened on airplanes.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was the absolute worst flight we had people in the military on that mission trip with us, and they've been on hundreds of flights. Said that's the absolute worst flight they've ever been on.
The pilot even came over the intercom and had to apologize to us. He said, guys, I didn't see that on my radar. Normally, we can pick that kind of stuff up. He said, but I just,
I'm
we
sorry.
missed that one, and I'm sorry. I had to
basically just
apologize.
apologize. I was like,
Oh, and the poor flight attendant, they obviously weren't buckled down. They were up walking the aisles. And
she wasn't a day short of 60.
And she got flung around.
She
and
said she hit the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said
She
said
was
I
hurt.
should have listened to that seatbelt sign.
She was hurt.
She's 60 years old, and I can just
Bless
imagine
her
just pinned up
heart.
against the roof for a
Bless her
second there.
heart.
Yep, full of drink, just all over.
This is the reason why the Bible says, "Lo, I'm with you always."
4 wheels on the ground too, not 2.
Now, how did this change you? Did this cause you to question flying again?
I
or-
mean, there's a reason why I didn't get on a flight again until the end of 2023.
Yeah.
So
made
nearly
an impact.
4 years.
Yeah.
Pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
Very traumatic experience in my life.
Dylan was wondering, hey, I didn't know there were potholes in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said this air, it just feels a lot like a Walker County road.
That's exactly what it
Yeah.
feels.
Yeah, he got on the county road up there in the sky.
Yeah, golly bun. I mean,
Are you in trouble? Well, we hope you're not. But just in case you are, we know a good lawyer. Whitney Island here in Hayden, Alabama has law services, or maybe if you're not from Hayden, I'm sure she'd be happy to hear from you. So check her out at islandlaw.com. We appreciate Whitney and her sponsoring the show.
I grew up going on mission trips. Our youth leaders always made sure that we had a mission trip every summer. And we would go one summer to Panama City to focus on our relationship with the Lord. And then we would go the next summer to focus on other people and to serve other people, obviously still focusing on our relationship. So I had been to Guatemala and Nicaragua, and then we went to Peru. But flying into, I think it was Nicaragua, my sister had never flown before. And we are on the plane, and we're about to land. We're getting pretty close, but it's storming. And it's lightning all around us. The turbulence is getting pretty bad, and seatbelt signs are on. And this sweet lady behind us, she had just moved to Nicaragua, and she tapped Maggie on the shoulder, and she said, "It's okay. I was on a plane one time. It caught on fire, and the oxygen masks came down, and we all survived, and we're still here." So Maggie was like, "That doesn't help me feel any better."
I'm not comforted.
oh, it's okay. Planes spontaneously combust.
Yeah, don't worry.
Anyway, she was not very happy after that, and she just hung on tighter. But yeah,
It's funny how people feel like they should comfort other
Yeah,
people.
let me
Right.
comfort you.
yeah,
Sometimes silence is the best thing you can say.
or getting in touch with the Lord, like Shelby was.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
the shut your mouth when you're talking to me type situation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes. Poor choice of words.
Bad timing.
It really is.
She really was trying to help.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that's
you
the thing.
know,
That she in her heart.
Yeah.
She had the right
good
heart, but not the right
intentions,
word.
That's the best way to say it.
I think my wife can probably attest to that. I had the right heart, just not the right word.
Hey, I'm same way. We all have those situations.
Oh goodness. We went to Nicaragua on a mission trip, and we had one free day towards the end of our trip, and they were like, you can go shopping. You could go to like a little minor league baseball game. It's similar to the
Professional
minor
league.
Yeah, it's a professional league baseball game there in, I think it was in Antigua. The other option was to go volcano surfing. So we could go surf down an active volcano. And you know,
So
your
obviously
girl,
that's the choice.
I was like, shopping? No way. Like, I'm going to surf down an active volcano. So we get there, and there's a little building you have to stop at first. And you have to sign a waiver saying that, you know, if you
Die.
If you fall into the volcano.
you can't, like, sue, I guess. I don't know.
How you gonna sue?
Well, your family, I guess, can't. Anyway.
You ain't reaping no benefit.
And so they give you your board that you surf down on, and then they give you goggles. They're like the goggles that you wear when you're doing science experiments. And then they give you a jumpsuit to put on. So mine was like a black and yellow jumpsuit. It had been worn quite a few times, and it had a piece of denim on the bottom, to cover up your booty, because I guess it had been worn out so much. But so we put them on, and we loaded up our boards on our backs, and we started heading up, and you had to walk up the volcano. So this is an active volcano. If you bent down towards the top, you could feel like the warmth, through the ground, like it was warm. But you're walking up, and it's all ash, because it had erupted, I guess, maybe 10 years prior, so it's still all ash. And we get up, about halfway, and here comes a thunderstorm. And so we're walking up this volcano, and the path couldn't be about this wide. And we've got our boards on our backs, and the wind is blowing, and we're trying not to,
You're a
fall
glorified kite at that moment.
Basically. So we, could have tumbled off pretty easily, but we made it up to the top. And once we got up there, the storm wasn't too bad. We get, pictures taken and all of that. And then it's time for us to start sliding down. But a cloud came. As soon as we were about to slide down, this huge cloud came below us. So we couldn't see the bottom. And we were like, we'll just wait on it to, get out of here. That thing wasn't moving. I don't know what kind of cloud it was, but it was not going to move. So we had to slide through the cloud. I think there were one or two that got up to the top and said, I can't do it. I can't do this. And they walked down.
Instead of sliding
down. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty steep. When you get up there, it's intimidating looking at it.
But at that point, I think I'd just take my chances.
Yeah. I mean, we were already
down.
there.
Yeah, I'm going down. I done went that far.
Exactly.
It's like jumping out of a perfectly good airplane at that point.
Yeah. I had already signed the waiver. I was, there was no going back for me. So I get up there, I get on my, some people are like, I'm going to surf down it. Actual surfing.
Stand up and surf?
That's what not me. I was like, I'm sledding. We're gonna sled. And I make it down there. I think I was probably going at least
At least 70 miles an hour.
This is where the story gets exaggerated.
We don't question it. It's her story.
I guarantee you there was you could have planted 2 rows of corn from what her heels made in that.
Healing out.
Yeah.
So the heels were what slowed you down, and I obviously had mine firmly planted in the ground, and I probably went at least 20 miles an hour going down that hill. I mean,
nobody was there to
volcano.
question.
You can
it.
go
You
up.
can go faster.
Go up.
You just
No.
had a trailer.
25.
Maybe
30?
25. It was maybe
35.
30. Anyway, I get down to the bottom, safe and sound. I'm good. It was fun. I got my picture taken going halfway down it. It was a good time. And then here comes my friend Emily, and she is zooming. She
There's
could
fire
not have
coming
been
off of her?
going. She had to have been going 30, 40 plus miles an hour down that volcano. She tumbled off of it, and hit the ground. Poor thing. She had like scratches all over her face. But
Volcanic ash is very coarse.
it is. Now our shoes were as white as ever after that. That
Cleaned 'em right
volcanic
up.
ash just really cleaned them up. But yeah, that was a fun trip. We really had fun with that one.
Dylan, it wouldn't be the Hayden, Alabama podcast without at least one hunting story. And you being from Winfield, I think you probably know at least one.
Oh, I got a few hunting stories.
Hey, don't count me out either. I
I'm
had
sorry.
a couple of my
Maybe
own.
that was.
She grew up hunting more animals than I did. Now she didn't go as much as I did, but her family, if you can hunt it, it gets hunted over there. Yeah. So I was sitting here looking at my field. I was probably playing on my phone or something. I was middle school, and all of a sudden I look up, and there's a good size 8-point, and I'd never seen much antler. I mean, I killed small 6 points and things like that, but I'd never seen good bone before. Mm-hmm. Well, I look up, and to me, that's the biggest buck in the world. I mean. And I look over at Daddy. I say, "Big buck, big buck, big buck." And then I know as a daddy, that's something that he'll remember that moment forever.
Yeah.
Just me looking over excited and everything. Can't wait to take my kids hunting. Like I'm looking forward to that big time. But he gets over. It's a big shooting house. He couldn't see out the window. The windows are small. We're in Mercedes car seats are bolted in the floor of this shooting house.
Fancy shooting house.
This is the Taj Mahal of shooting houses. Like, I was surprised there wasn't a toilet in that thing. And if we would have been that hunting club any longer, I'd have probably put one in there.
Put one in there.
Yeah. So he leans over in this small window and he sees it and he's like, "Get your gun up, get your gun up." Well, I was using an old 30-30 at the time. Love that gun. I hope my kid's first deer will come from that gun too. But he starts, can't get it to stop. There's a spike running behind it, so I guess they're just traveling early season. And he goes, a little bit louder, and this deer is getting on out there. And I have a 30-30. Not 100 yards is about what I want to shoot one with a 30-30. Well, all of a sudden, I'm itching to. This is my biggest buck I've ever seen. So I just go, "Man!" That might be too loud for you. Yeah, but I let out the biggest "man" you've ever heard before in your life, and that thing just stops and turns. Well, I don't give it long, and I put it what I thought was behind the shoulder, and I shoot. Well, that thing just takes off on 3 legs. We get down, we go ahead and just see if we can find blood because we wasn't sure how good I hit it, and and we get to the edge of the woods, and Daddy's track bloods to the woods, and then he hears that thing rustling around, getting up and going. So there's a pond right up the hill from where our shooting house is at. So we run up this trail. We take off sprinting up this pond. We have a camcorder that, he wants to film his boy killing a buck. Well, he did. There wasn't time to turn it on, so we don't have that on camera.
Oh, you don't have the camcorder.
We don't have the
on.
shot on camera. But he's got it in his hand while he's running. He's just, looks like Forrest Gump getting up there to that pond. Well, we get there to the pond, and this thing's getting in the pond. Well, by this time, he's got that camcorder on, and he's filming in the pond, and it's swimming away from us. And Dad says, he gets about out there where it realizes, I don't need to be out here much longer. I need to get towards the edge. Like, you can tell he's like, I'm not going to be able to make it all the way across this pond. So he turns back towards us. Well, on the camcorder, Dad's like, shoot it. Well, you can't shoot a deer, right, in water. Is that a law in Alabama?
In the state waters.
So in a pond, I'd been all right.
Probably would have been okay, but I'm no game warden.
Yeah.
We're the worst people you'd ask that.
Well,
I'm not advising anyone to shoot anything in the water.
We're pleading the Fifth Amendment.
Well, I was my, how old was I in 8th grade? My 12-year-old self was...
You were wrestling with it.
Well, I was being the smart one. My dad was sitting there telling me to shoot this thing. He wanted to see it.
You just got done with hunter education course, and you're like, no, I remember.
No, I remember. I'm pretty sure it said don't shoot a deer in water. Well, he's filming, and he's got it on camera.
Oh yeah,
Like,
evidence.
He's got evidence right
yeah.
there. Well, I said, it's swimming towards us too. I said, I don't want to get out there in this water to get this thing. So it makes it about halfway back to us. And then in the video, I don't know where the camera's at. You just see the antlers, it dies right there in front of us. And
No extra shot needed.
no extra shot needed. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, Dad, how are we going to get this thing?
Now we've got a problem.
Yeah.
was the
Now
hard part.
now is when the story, this is where it actually begins. Everything we went through, and now this is
Everything
where,
I've told you up to this point,
Yeah.
this is where.
Yeah. So we're sitting there, and we're pondering. Two men pondering is about the most dangerous thing that can happen. But
Two Winfield
Especially
High
you
School
and your dad.
graduate.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
no,
right.
you wasn't a graduate at that
I
point.
wasn't at the
you
time.
were an
I was a
attendee.
middle school. I hadn't even been through all them pondering classes yet. But we're sitting there and we're like, how are we gonna get this thing? We look up to the right, and in the woods there's a flat bottom boat.
No.
It's like God placed
The
it there
Lord
for this
placed.
occasion. Ain't nobody fishing in this pond in the middle of the woods. Like, I mean, we'd never fished it. We're sitting there, and we see that boat, and we like look at each other, and we just grin ear to ear. We get over there too, and we get the boat in the water. By that time, our buddy, he's since passed away. Great guy, Dennis was his name, but he had made it there with his 4-wheeler and had his winch, and he was over there trying to get the antler. His winch would barely make it over there to where his horns were.
Lassoing him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we get the boat. Well, we get to the boat and there's not a paddle, so we find the longest stick we can find and we start, pushing. We hope this pond ain't too deep, that we don't get out here and then we have to just wait on a good gust of wind. But yeah, we get out there and we get pushed about to the deer. By the time we get to the deer, Dennis had done wrangled him, had him pulled about all the way to the bank. So we got him out of the woods, and he was waterlogged when I weighed him. So good bragging rights on
Yeah,
get a good weight on him
waterlogged.
while he still got that water in him. But got him up on the wall. He's not massive, but I was so proud of that deer. I mean, I'm
Still proud.
still proud. Yep.
That's
He's a deer with a great story.
Yeah. Oh, the story. I mean, I don't know if I'll beat a deer story. Is it a drowned in one?
I was still waiting on the plug not to be in the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That would. You know what? Maybe that plug
Maybe
wasn't
the
in the
plug wasn't in
boat. Maybe we were sinking for a little while.
I thought you were going to title that "My Favorite Gondola Ride."
That's pretty good.
Goodness.
Nobody was there when Shelby came down the volcano, so nobody was there when you
Right.
wrangled up the
Yeah.
deer.
Two
So
people.
yeah.
2 people
Oh,
were.
that's true. Too.
And one of them
One's
is
still living. And
One
that's
of
my
them has
father.
since passed.
Yeah.
So you only have one
I've only
person.
got one left. Yep. And he's sitting at the house watching my kid right now. So I better be careful.
Yeah. Well, what was your big takeaway there from that experience?
Make good shots, make a put it
Could have been a lot easier.
put it right there in the bread basket and you won't have to worry about
There
that.
you go. That's
But I think, when you're a hunter, everyone has those stories where they rather didn't take the time they needed. Hunting is a learning process, and it's a forever learning process. We're always going to make mistakes as hunters. And that's just take your time.
If you're thinking about selling your timber, I know a guy. When Andrew Loflin called me, I quickly realized that his main concerns were standing by people's side and helping them avoid regret when making a once-in-a-lifetime decision. Andrew is a small-town Alabama guy, family man, and second-generation forester. Loflin Forest Management specializes in timber sales, management plans, reforestation, and all things private land management. Do not let that log skidder near your property before you give Andrew a call at 334-804-7490.
You got something. I feel like that
She said,
a memory has.
I don't know why it just popped in my head, and I can't can't believe that I hadn't thought about it until now. But I have a funny hunting story with Dill. We Dylan over there on his land behind his parents' house, he has a ladder stand, and then So we would always go hunting in the ladder stand back when we were, dating.
Yeah,
No,
well,
you're
you're courting one
man.
another.
Yeah, it was
Sparking.
a 2-seater.
Double man ladder,
Just to
It was a 2-seater,
clarify.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
We wasn't stacked up in a single, like trying to squeeze in there.
Understood.
Stay warm that way.
Yeah.
So we would go up there, and we would hunt together, and that was fun and all. But one day, Dylan wanted to hunt by himself, and I wanted to hunt by myself. So I was like, okay, I'll go to the ladder stand, and he can go to the climbing stand.
A lock on.
Oh, lock on, yeah.
But
okay.
they're on 2 hills, and it's that thicket, that cut over. It was a lot younger at the time where we could see each other.
Yes. So we're sitting in our trees, and we can see, about where each other is at. Like I could see Dill, and Dylan's brother Ethan had decided to get some cows, and he got 1 bull, and then the rest were cows. So I'm sitting in my stand, and I had seen some does come out. There were like a couple does and some yearlings coming out, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna see something good today. Like I have a good feeling about this, and all of a sudden I hear something like rustling in the thicket, and I'm like, what is that? And I was like, this is something big. This is something big's about to walk out. Yeah, it was the bull. And
No, at that time you thought it was a cow.
was a cow. It was a cow. And it walks right on up, and it's, it doesn't know that I'm in the ladder stand. And it gets a little bit closer. And one thing about me, I don't like a cow.
Can't
You don't
stand
like
it.
cows.
Well-
I fish ponds in pastures, and she go with me, and I mean hates them.
Scared to death.
They'll crowd around her, and she hates them.
I love them from afar. And they taste really good.
I was gonna say, do you like them medium?
Yeah,
medium
well?
rare. is-
Medium
is,
rare,
you
yeah.
know.
But yeah, I don't want to get too close to one. So this cow didn't know that I was in the stand, and it walks a little bit closer, and I'm starting to freak out a little bit. I'm like,
Heart rate's
okay,
coming
my
up.
heart rate's going up a little bit. I'm like, there is a big old cow down here, and then I realize it's the bull.
It ain't a cow.
I'm like, it's not a cow. This is the bull.
No,
yes.
you ain't realized it yet. No,
Was it after
no.
the
She's
fact?
texting me the whole time, so I scope in over there because I can see her stand, and then I notice the anatomy that makes it a bull.
You decided to let Shelby know just.
I let her figure it out on her own. Yeah,
Okay, so I'm sitting in this ladder stand, and this bull comes right up and decides he needs to scratch his back.
On the ladder stand.
On the ladder stand, he gets under there, and he starts.
Your
scratching.
worst nightmare.
It's coming true right before my eyes. I am holding on for dear life to this stand. I'm bouncing up and down and up and down. And as much as I'm getting my phone out, and I'm texting get him now. And Dylan's like, what do you want me to do?
I wasn't ruining my hunt.
He can't do anything
I've
about
survived
it.
turbulence. I've been down a volcano, roasted marshmallows over an volcano, and I'm
Exactly.
going to go out by a bull.
bull.
That
That's
just has a little bit of an itch.
my thought was I am about to fall out of this ladder stand right on top
Right on
of this
top
bull
of it.
and take a ride. That was my thought process.
Call me Tough Hedeman. I'm about
that's
to go ahead on this
exactly.
old boy right now.
And so finally I hear in the distance, oh my gosh, it sounded like the voice of an angel, but it was his grandpa calling the cows.
To
She
come
had
see.
texted me and said,
Texting, I said,
Get- "Get somebody to come get these cows."
now.
Sure enough, my daddy rod.
He starts hollering for them to come eat, which they had already eaten. He just was doing that for me, and it finally went off. In the middle of this, those does come back into the field, so I'm missing out on all of this. We're gonna see something, and I'm coming down off of that adrenaline rush I had.
Near-death experience.
Yes, near-death experience.
She's ready to kill something.
I'm ready to kill something.
Something gonna
It
pay.
needs to be a deer. Something was passing.
This is not going to be for nothing. And that's when I see it out of the corner of my eye. He was about to cross and go on to the next property over.
He went down in that thicket after eating in my field.
And I saw horns, and I shot as fast as I could. And I said, Dylan, I shot a buck.
She dropped it. She was still sitting there in front of her. And she could scope in, and she said,
buck.
I killed a. She called me. She said, I killed a buck. I killed a buck. I said, how big is it? I don't know. I just know I saw horns and I shot it. I'm excited. I couldn't get out of that stand faster.
Yeah.
I mean, so I got out there and I'm like, I'm getting it. And I get down there and I get to it. I said, Shelby, I just watched that deer for an hour.
At least I dropped it, so we didn't have to go.
Didn't have to go chase it
drag
through
it
the
out.
crowd.
Absolutely. She can shoot
Exactly.
now. But
I think every deer I've ever shot at, I've dropped. So
hey.
A big one.
Well, maybe what I said earlier about that story, it doesn't apply to Shelby. Maybe not all hunters have one of those.
There's exceptions to every rule, they say.
that's right. That's right. It's because I grew up dog driving, and so I had to shoot fast. We
no
were
dog hunter over here.
Yeah, they were big into that.
You ain't got time to think on a dog drive.
No, you just got to shoot.
See horn shoot.
That's right.
I took Bethany hunting one time. She adopted hunting not because she loved it. That's my wife. Sorry, I should have said that. But because that's where I was all the time. And if you're just going to spend a little time. So I took her up and I said, I've got this stand up here on this hardwood ridge. It's buck central. So you just be ready. Just be looking. Well, I went with her to the stand because it was a climbing stand. She'd never used a climbing stand. So she got up in the stand and I said, all right, do a tricep extension. And then I would lift the bottom. And then I said, okay, now lift the top. So this is what we're doing to get her in this climbing stand. I said, just
First
sit
time
right
hunting?
here in a climbing stand by herself. Because I had another little spot.
Put him in a club. What are
you doing?
I had a
Did
good.
you love that girl?
Did you love it?
I was on a good buck in another area.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wow, there's probably something around here.
Yeah, is your life insurance
We didn't
policy
have a
paid up,
double
or-
ladder stand like y'all had.
Yeah.
We only had the single. She wasn't going to climb in that death trap lock on
Sign
that I
this
had.
piece of paper up before
Yeah,
you
sign
do it,
this.
too.
Yeah.
Well, she signed that and we got married. So we go hunt. I didn't really see anything, and I figured about the same for her. Well, I get over there and she's shaking.
Oh.
What do we say? I messed up. How did you mess up? I didn't even hear you shoot, She said, I could hear it eating the acorns and I could never see it. You're joking, right? I said, you mean to tell me you could hear the crunch of the acorn being eaten in your proximity and you couldn't find it? She said, I looked everywhere.
That's 20 yards. I mean,
At least.
that's 20 yards.
At the most,
At
rather.
the most to hear.
And I just thought, I put her in the stand where old sad daddy decided to
Pawpaw,
show
come
up
on.
that day, and he was just sitting there eating, watching, going, man.
So look at this poor thing.
Look at her. How's she going to get down from there?
Her husband put her up there.
There ain't no ladder on that thing.
Yeah, so I realized that day a little more experience was needed. Maybe she needed a little more time with a co-hunter before being released to the single climbing stand.
Before sending her off on her own.
Not a lot of people know this about me, but I was a college tournament fisherman, believe it or not, for the Bevel State Community College Bears.
Shelby's.
I don't know why you're laughing. It's true. It's not a lie.
It's not, but it was one tournament.
That's where I'm getting into. So, my friend Bradley, he watches this show. Hey, Bradley.
Appreciate you, Bradley.
Yeah, thank you, Bradley.
Shout out.
Yeah, he would be a good one to have on here. He does some preaching himself, but he tells good stories. So he got together a few of the guys that went to the community college. Bradley, big time fisherman. We were talking about why don't we fish a tournament? Of course, I enjoyed fishing. I'll be on the tournament team. My buddy's got a boat. He'll be on the team, and we'll go together. So we sign up for this tournament, Smith Lake. I spend a night with my buddy who's got the boat, me and the couple guys that's on the team, and then we're all going to head up there. We're going to practice fish, sleep in the boat, and then go fish tournament and win it. Well, we are at his house, and my stomach starts. It ain't feeling
doing
right.
good.
Your mouth starts watering. That's when you know stomach virus.
Oh.
Yeah, and it hit me, and I'm excited. I'm fishing my first college. I'm a college athlete.
I have dreamt about this day.
Yeah, this was before NIL, so this was all college athletes. The only thing to put to it.
Bevel State needed you.
Bevel State wasn't paying nobody under the table. I guarantee you that. So I'm excited. So I stay there. I fight through the stomach virus at my friend's house. I start feeling better. I'm like, oh, I hadn't eaten anything in 24 hours nearly. I'm hungry. So over here, I forget what part of the lake we were at. There's this place, it's a gas station that has a seafood buffet in it. So obviously, it's a seafood buffet. We're gonna.
Dylan.
It's also a gas station.
Dylan.
And we're just out of the woods.
We're not out, kinda. When you think about it, you're just still a little woozy. You're almost out of the woods. You're right. Well, I ate it and do fine. I got a full belly.
So it turned out okay for you.
Yeah, that
Dylan's
didn't
back.
turn out. Dylan is back.
Exactly.
That part of the story didn't turn out how you thought it was going to.
It didn't. I was not thinking that was the direction.
Well, you're not going to think this direction's going the same either.
Dylan is back to D1 athlete level.
Yeah, I'm community college. Look, I'm fishing against Auburn. I'm fishing against Montevallo. They always have a good fishing team. UNA, they're all here, and I'm fishing against them.
They didn't know.
Yeah, I may have been on a lake 4-5 times ever.
They didn't know.
At that point. Well, we get back to the first spot, and trolling motor battery. He couldn't get trolling motor to work. So he's
Strike one.
working. That's strike one. He's sitting there working on it, and that whole day we never got trolling motor to work on that boat. So we're idling everywhere. Well, we get to the first spot, he done been working on the trolling motor. My mouth's hurting a little bit. I'm like, what in the, what, both sides, why is, it's like my teeth is just on fire. My wisdom teeth started coming in. I'm telling you, the pain. The pain. I'm not,
And this is a sudden onset wisdom teeth.
This is all at once. This ain't like, it's just a little uncomfortable.
Is it brought on by the crab claws? Or?
I don't know what brought this on, the stomach virus, the gas station shrimp, or
Alaskan. Did you have Alaskan
cod or something? I don't know, but it's like they put Miracle Grow on my teeth or something. But it was so painful, and I was miserable the entire day. About the second or third spot, I catch a fish that
Smith Lake Special.
Smith Lake Special, where it's under, so you can keep it for it to be weighed in. It's not in slot or whatever it was. Yep. And then I struggle. I can't eat the hot dogs I can't even hardly move my mouth. I mean, my mouth is on fire. I still got them things. They tried to take them out, but
You said no.
I said no.
I
got
those.
more than you. I got that on you.
Yeah.
But Wednesday started coming in. The whole day just miserable. We don't catch a fish the rest of the day. We show back up.
One fish.
At least you didn't get skunked.
True. But what do you do when you show up at a college tournament around all these big teams fishing and everything? You got one fish that's under 12 inches?
Oh, you didn't weigh it?
No, I've never weighed in a college tournament.
Oh, but you have fished in one.
I fished in one. I'm a college athlete, a former college athlete. But sure enough, we threw that thing back in the water, and we said, let's get to the house. That was one of the worst weekends of my life.
Learned a little lesson that day, but y'all also had a great experience on a boat, a big boat.
A massive boat, if you will.
It was a cruise ship.
It was a cruise ship, yeah.
The Love Boat. Ain't there a song about that?
There's a TV show about it. Yeah.
That's right.
Are they showing their age?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I remember it.
I was a kid on the reruns.
Just a kid.
Yeah, on the reruns of it.
Dylan's like, I've never heard of this
Don't know
boat.
what that is.
No, yeah, we have a boat adventure. It was actually our honeymoon, so
It was the Love Boat.
it was.
It was the love
Yeah.
boat. Yeah. Back then we didn't have a lot of money, and we decided that we were just going to spend it was a week-long cruise, so 7 days. And
We had originally
weren't-
wanted to go on a resort, but the cruise is a
Right.
cheaper option.
Yeah.
So
we couldn't afford the Wi-Fi package that they get, so we had no contact with anybody. And we
Sounds like a great vacation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was wonderful because we just,
I'd love to be
we
able to do
didn't
that these days.
Yeah, be great. But we were, cruising. We stopped in Jamaica, had a great time, swam with dolphins, and we had to, obviously pay for our excursion when we were in Jamaica and
Swipe our card.
We were great. It was fine. And so then we get back on the boat, and our next stop is the Cayman Islands, and can't stop there. The water's too rough. So we get, we're not really feeling the water. Like it's not too bad or anything.
Didn't we have like a deep sea fishing? No, that was canceled at Cozumel.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yep. So we didn't get to go to the Cayman Islands because the water was too rough. We couldn't dock there. So we keep on going, and we get to Cozumel. We're like middle of the night. We're like, okay, Cozumel's up next. We're excited. We're actually going to get off and
Going fishing.
We're going fishing. We're going deep sea fishing. Well, then we get a notification like the night before that the deep sea fishing excursion had been canceled because of the water. We're like, it's not even that bad, And so we went on to bed that night, and the next morning I got up. I went to the restroom. I was using the restroom.
I was just laying in bed.
Dylan was still in bed.
I mean, we're porting.
Yeah.
We know we're porting.
Yeah, we're here. Like, we see it. We see everything. And then all of a sudden, the boat just starts like...
Yeah, we just feel like a bump. And I thought we just, we poured it hard, but it still didn't feel right.
Yeah, something felt a little off about
Yeah.
it, okay?
We poured it hard. Does
Firm
that happen?
Well, I
It
figured,
was a firm port. That's exactly
it's a
what
dock,
it was.
You
That
come
thing's
into a
dug
dock.
deep.
It's just a glorified bass boat is all
That's
this
all it
is.
This is our first cruise, so we didn't know,
Yeah.
what to expect.
Same thing with the flights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
Dylan's flying an experience.
We didn't know.
So we
We hear
start to
everybody.
hear commotion
Yeah.
out on the balconies. So we run out to the balcony and we look. We're looking down both sides, and we look down this side, and pieces of our boat is falling
They're
off
falling
into the water.
into the water.
Sure enough. And we're like, everyone's freaking out. Like, we have a whole hole in our boat. It may be 100 feet in the air, but there's a hole.
There's a hole
hole.
in the boat.
I mean, as big as this room is the hole in the boat.
right into the dining room.
Yep.
Yeah, people were eating breakfast in there, and the back of our boat when we were coming in went right into the
bow of another
bow
boat.
of their boat, and it just sliced right through, through our dining
Yeah,
room.
people were eating breakfast. I mean, I think one person ended up going to the hospital. They checked out okay, but
Yeah.
but
So
there's
you weren't on the love boat, you were on the Titanic.
yeah,
That's
we're looking into the water. We're looking in the water, and I look past. There's these couple on a piece of debris that
Falling off the boat.
Jack and Rose.
Jack and I don't know. There was
What's her name?
I don't know. I looked past them, and there was just debris all like sinking to the bottom of the ocean.
No, you were saying, get on. There's
Yeah.
enough room
There's
on,
enough
Jack.
enough
Get on.
room on that. Like, don't get me started.
There's the dining room door.
Yeah, there's like.
It was the dining room door.
There's enough room, Jack.
Yeah,
Get
Jack,
on.
get on the. What are you doing? Anyway, yeah, sure enough. There's pieces of our boat just layered the bottom of the ocean right there. 'Cause,
So
I mean,
we
you're in Mexico. It's clear
Was
water.
Oh, it's
anybody
beautiful.
harmed?
only one person we heard got hurt, and I think it was as they were running out of the dining room. They saw it coming. They were, everybody
Dylan,
jumps
you
up and runs. and-
Missed a tremendous opportunity.
I know.
I'm hurt too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My neck. Golly bum.
Shelby too. I mean, she was in the bathroom. She could have definitely been hurt.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, she's
exactly.
about drowned in there. Oh no, so we get off the boat.
Yeah.
And we're
We're looking for something to do.
we're taking pictures of
yeah.
everything, and we got
Something for
pictures of it in the
anxiety.
background.
Yeah.
So we're
You know,
looking
we
for
think it's
medicine,
funny.
some kind of medication to get us through the rest
How
of the
can
trip.
I find my way to get a check? I mean,
Looking for an
right.
Alexander Sonora
Yeah.
billboard.
Yeah, where's Alexander when you need
Believe it
him?
or not, they hadn't made it to Cozumel at that point. But
No.
we
call me.
We-
Cosmo.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
call me.
fixing to say that. Call me, Cozumel.
call me Cozumel. Oh goodness. We our fishing trip had got canceled, so we didn't have
Yeah.
anything to do. So we found some kind of resort place where but you had to taxi to it. So if it's not on the boat, if it's not booked by the boat, you have to make it back or else they'll leave you. We get to the resort,
They had a buffet and they had a beach, and we were like,
Which is all
buffet
you
beach,
need.
that's all we need.
Hey,
You know,
I'm
we were
in.
going to hang out there.
We swapped the card.
Declined.
Oh, that's a terrible feeling.
So you know what happened? We forgot to put the travel alert.
On the card.
On the
When we
card.
swiped it in Jamaica, they thought that someone in Jamaica had our card and
All
was
they
just
know-
swimming with
oh,
dolphins,
yeah.
you know?
All
Dylan
they-
and Shelby's in Jamaica,
Right,
sure.
yeah, Jamaica.
That boy's from Winston County. We know.
Yeah,
He's from Winston.
Marion.
He's from
Marion
Winston. Sorry.
County.
Yeah. But so I call mom. I get on their Wi-Fi and I call
Yeah.
mom. We ain't been on Wi-Fi the whole time.
Right.
It's mom answers the phone so fast. She said, "Are y'all okay? What's going?" It's all over the news.
Our cruise
By
ship
the
wrecked.
time we
Cruise
made it to
ship
the
wrecked.
resort, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
That our cruise ship is wrecked.
Has
And she
wrecked.
said, "I saw it was the boat y'all were on. Like let me know what's going on." I
She
said,
has
"Mama."
lost her mind.
And she saw us calling. She knew that we, didn't have Wi-Fi. So if we're calling, like something big
Yeah.
is going on,
Right. So, I'm like, how do you know about this? She said, it's everywhere. And then we're like, yeah, Mom, we're fine. We're just,
Can you just call the bank so we can eat this?
yeah, can you mess with the bank a little bit, figure all this out? Because I'm starving to death.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot this
Look,
morning.
I got bigger problems. I know there's a hole in the boat, but I'm hungry.
That's right. There's a
right.
hole in my stomach.
My wisdom teeth are coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Don't forget
Get
to put
over
your
the stomach
travel
virus.
alerts. Dylan, I don't think you've forgotten to put a travel alert on our card since that
Since
day.
then,
No, absolutely not.
you learned a lesson there.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, you've given us a lot of your time today and allowed us into your lives to see some awesome things that's happened. We really appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate you letting us come share about our lives.
It's so many. It's just going to be good. This is a good one. Well, let's do the scripture time, and then we're going to do the one round of the word game, and then 60-second story. Since y'all are talking about eating, can we use that as a verb today?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so the 60-second story will be around the verb eating, and then let's go best time eating. Is that good?
Yeah, I got one already.
You already lined up?
He's ready.
All right, let's do the scripture time. We're going to go back to Ephesians. We audibled and went into Psalm last
thanks
week.
to Mr. Bill.
So this is going to be Ephesians chapter 4. Oh, gotta take that hat off, boy. Get in trouble for that. We're going to be talking about the old man and the new man, old self and the new self. And this is Paul writing in Ephesians. At verse 17, he says, "With the Lord's authority I say this, live no longer as the Gentiles do, for they are hopelessly confused. Their minds are full of darkness. They wander far from the life God gives because they have closed their minds and have hardened their hearts against him. They have no sense of shame. They live for lustful pleasure and eagerly practice every kind of impurity." But that isn't what you learned about Christ. Since you have heard about Jesus and have learned the truth that comes from him, throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. And then here's the lesson. Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on your new nature, created to be like God, truly righteous and holy. So what's
Sure
the
you wanna talk about
takeaway? Well, buddy, I struggle every day. And I don't think Paul's saying
You're supposed to do that one time.
it's not one time, and it's a process. But at the end of the day, he's telling them, you had an old way of life before you came to faith in Jesus Christ. You had an old way of life that was your flesh. You made your choices. You followed your ways. And there's a difference. When you truly believe in Jesus Christ and you choose to follow him, it's a new creation, a new self, a new man. What makes it difficult, and I'm just kind of confessing, I guess, a little bit here, is that old man, that old self is easy.
The flesh.
The flesh is natural. It drives itself. It tells you everything it wants all the time. The new self, which is driven by the Holy Spirit that dwells inside of us, is contrary to that flesh. And I think, one, that we may not think enough about how we should be the new self all the time as much as we can. We're going to fall short. Not saying that. But we should strive to be the new self as much as we possibly can, because that's the only thing that glorifies God. I have a pair of Nike gray sweatpants. I've had them forever.
I have coached in them, lounged in the house in them, went to events in them, had them for a long time. I like them because no matter if I'm losing weight or gaining weight, they're there for me. They are always there for me, comfortable.
Yeah.
The problem is that Bethany wants me to throw them away. And I don't know how you are.
No.
But when
That's
I have
sentimental
something
kind
I
of
like, I'm going to want to keep it.
Yeah.
The problem is, and the reason she wants me to throw them away is because right there where the seam goes down the back, it's turning a different color. It's really light. And the reason it's really light is because it's absolutely threadbare and worn out. And she's concerned that at some point that's going to bust open. And I could be anywhere when that happened, and that's something nobody cares to see. The reason I don't want to get rid of them is because I'm used to them, I'm comfortable in them, and I really like them. But that isn't a reason to not get rid of them. And I think sometimes we can want to go back and wear those comfortable things that we're used
Dip
to.
in the flesh a little bit.
That's right.
But just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's a good lesson for life. And we can't, as Christians, we should put away those old things. I know that would make my wife very happy if I would put away those old sweatpants and get some new ones. But in the realm of our walk with Jesus Christ, we've got to put those away, and we got to put on the new self.
Made new. And like you said, it's a process. There is that moment that you are a new creation, but there is a sanctification process, and that's real. And it is, it could be misinterpreted as well. It could be used as an excuse. I've heard of a lot of people use their sanctification process as an excuse to sin. And that's just something, if you go about it, with the right mindset and understanding, the Lord wants us to, He wants everything we got.
Amen.
Like He wants that relationship with us. He wants us to give us our all. And He, that's why He created us.
Every day, it's a daily occurrence. We have to put off the old self and put on the new self.
So true. And it's difficult. Well, that's our scripture time. Let's do the word game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are we ladies first on this?
Sure.
We'll go ladies first on the word game. One round, Shane. So hang in there, buddy.
All right. Are
You
we?
probably got me this time.
No, I don't think so, Dylan.
Let's
Don't
see,
worry.
you
There
have
we
the
go.
verb, bro.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Maybe.
I may give you an adverb.
Oh, my goodness.
An adverb, then what?
And then you got to have the
remember
verb.
what that is.
It just describes the verb a little bit.
Description of the verb.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. When
I,
Went.
Two.
the
lake,
I.
Fished.
on
the,
College.
Campus.
boat
because. He lost.
I mean, it may have made a little sense. It may have not. I don't know.
The college campus
Campus.
boat.
You know the sponsored one.
The sponsor one, because I'm a collegiate angler, athlete. Oh
And
my
that's the
goodness.
goal of the one word game is
It's to get Shane to lose.
to
Yes,
get
me
Shane to
to lose.
lose. That's
Yes,
goal number
every
one.
time.
And number two is just to create a little humor.
That was good.
He just couldn't recover because of the laugh. And
Yeah.
that's part of the deal.
Does it?
All right, 60-second story. We're going to let Dylan go first. This is going to be a 60-second story. Do you have one of your phones where we could set the alarm?
Oh, yeah.
Draw us up a
minute.
1 minute on that countdown timer. All right, 60-second story.
All
Best
right.
time eating.
Are you ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Go.
So, some of my friends, they used to work with this old lady. Great lady, loved her to death. She's also no longer with us, but sweetest lady I've ever met. Everything she ever ate was the best she ever had. Even if she wasn't talking directly to you, if you cooked, if she was talking to everyone around her, that was the best I ever had because she wanted to uplift them. Well, they got cooked for. They all worked together, and they got cooked for one day. A man who had a grilling business coming, he did a food truck type situation. He came and grilled them some hamburgers. Well, they got their hamburger, and they bit into it. They looked down. It was a little bit pink. No one wants their locally frozen burgers to be pink. So they looked at it and they kind of looked around, but they also knew how she acted whenever she ate everything she ever had. Well, she got her burger, you know, she's over there. She took a bite out of it. And there went red down her cheek. She said, man, that's the best burger I ever had.
That's the best burger I ever had.
Sure enough.
If I was going to cook for anybody, I might like to cook for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
She'd be a good one.
Best time eating a
She
burger.
said that was the best burger I ever had.
That's funny.
All right.
We just learned that you're a real slow storyteller.
Yeah.
Well, he admitted that
like,
right off the bat.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
He said it's hard for me to stay under a
Like to
minute.
set it up.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, 60-second story. One of the best times eating I ever had was in New Orleans, Louisiana. Lots of good food down there. Well, we went down there for Thanksgiving. Took a trip for Thanksgiving down there and stayed. And I had heard that the Redfish Grill, which is, I think, right on the edge of Bourbon Street, had this chocolate bread pudding.
Oh.
But it was so good that you have to order it when you order your entree because it takes time to prepare it. Plus, it's very popular.
Oh, man.
Well, we ordered it, and I put on the feed bag, and I ate so much that I was just stuffed. And I thought, man, this is really going to have to be good to enjoy. You know how it is when you get full. Well, they brought that out there, and I stuck that spoon in it, brought that thing up, and as soon as it went into all those salivary I mean, it was amazing. And I thought, very rarely does something meet the expectations when they're like, it's the best, it's the best. It did.
Believe it or not.
That's going to be my story.
Yeah, but I don't even know how to do this. Is that sad? I work from my phone. I don't know how to work.
It's okay. It's complicated.
It's okay.
Shane,
Bill.
you want to go ahead or you?
Yeah, that's going to be my story, but you go. I mean, if you
Okay.
want to go ahead.
You want me to go ahead? Go ahead. I'm going to take us back to when we were a lot younger, Philip. My Uncle Bob loved Philip and I to come up and visit him. When we came up and visit, it was a challenge for him to see if he could fill us up. And we would go to this place called Kelsey's Steakhouse. We would sit down, and there'd be a table about this size, and he would order everything on the menu: bread, salad, steaks, appetizers, you name it. And he would sit and watch us eat and eat and eat, and we would just pile it in. And he'd laugh and have the best time watching us gorge ourselves on these steaks. And it was some of the best times we ever had, just sitting around, chit-chatting with him, watching him. He was enjoying himself. We were enjoying ourselves. Yeah. And we were absolutely killing everything that he put out there.
I know
That was the best time we ever had eating.
Good.
I don't know why, but a lot of my thoughts, my stories, everything involves some kind of food.
Yeah.
I know.
I love to eat.
I've thought of 2 stories, and I think I've changed mine just in
I
the
don't
span of that
I don't
60
know that you're
seconds.
Baptist, but
Yeah,
we're Baptist.
We're Baptist too.
Yeah,
that's
We
why.
like to eat.
yeah, we like to eat. We have a potluck for any occasion.
Just an excuse for a potluck.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, Miss Shelby, it's your turn. You're up.
Okay.
We saved the best for last.
All right.
You better.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was giving birth just 2 months ago, the one thing that a woman thinks about whenever they're giving birth is that first meal you're going to have after birth, because you can't eat.
What was it the first go around?
The first go around, it was McDonald's, which I don't mind. I love a good McDonald's. But this time I had my mindset that I was going to get Texas Roadhouse. Mm-hmm. And I said Chick-fil-A at first, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm going to have her before 3 p.m., so I got to have Chick-fil-A, and I'll have Texas Roadhouse later. But she didn't come until 3:14, and I said, okay, I'm having Texas Roadhouse. Dylan got me country fried chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy, roll, dessert, everything. And I ate that meal in my hospital bed with my newborn baby girl wrapped up right beside me, and that was the best feeling I think in the world.
Yeah, she said
Nothing
that's
will ever
probably the
top
best
it.
meal.
Yeah, best meal I've ever had, and best memory. So
Well, it truly has been a lot of fun. You guys have something special. people see that.
Thank
We
you
appreciate
very
that a lot.
much.
Y'all do too. Like, this is we are watchers. We started watching. Y'all have been blowing up on social media. I mean, we see you all over our For You pages. So
It's really cool to watch.
yeah, it's really
so
cool to watch, and
We're excited that we got to come on.
We're glad you got to be a part of it.
We're
Too.
excited that you're a future reel.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Just wait on it.
Definitely got
It's
some
happening.
That's right.
There's no doubt we got a plethora of those to choose
I
from.
hope so.
Well, we're going to tie it up here today at the Hayden Alabama Podcast. I'm Philip.
I'm Shane.
I'm Dylan.
Shelby.
Well, which camera we're supposed to look at?
We'll see you next time.